Obsession was so good, dude. I'm notorious for watching movies and TV shows way too late after they came out, but with Obsession, I've only waited 2 months since it came out and I'm already on top of it. I'm no longer an old man in a young man's body. I am on top of my game with pop culture, dude. I mean, it has been 2 months, right? But the thing is, even after 2 months of coming out, people are still talking about this movie because it's genuinely great. And in our culture, where things are moving a mile a minute and every TikTok trend is forgot about within 3 days, 3 hours more likely, the fact that people are still raving about Obsession is just freaking awesome. So I wanted to talk about the movie because it's probably the best one I've seen so far this year, and it might go down as the best movie of 2026. Other than maybe Project Hail Mary, that one was really good. It beats Backrooms for me, maybe not Project Hail Mary. I haven't thought about it hard enough to answer that question. And I'm not sure I want to. They're both freaking incredible. So what do I like about this movie? I love that it doesn't feel the need to be overstimulating. It feels like nowadays Hollywood thinks that we all have poo for brains and it feels the need to show us some big crazy explosion and be all in your face all the time and to really hook you, Mr. Beastification of Hollywood. I hate it. This movie opens with like 2-3 minutes, felt like forever with my TikTok brain, of just the main character talking to the camera, of him confessing his feelings for this girl, Nikki, and then the shot zooms out to reveal that he's not talking to her, and in fact is just talking to a woman who's pretending to be Nikki as he's preparing to talk for her, and confess his feelings for her. So good. Like, the movie is confident in itself, enough so that it knows that if it's good, if the contents of the movie is actually good, people will talk about it like I am, and that's all it needs. It doesn't need to instantly explode something. Oh, aliens are eating the Statue of Liberty. It doesn't need that. It doesn't need that. It knows that its characters need time to be fleshed out, and it pays them that respect. This is some spoilers. Some scenes I really loved and wanted to mention right off the bat was the cat eating scene. It's so fucked up, but I love that this movie was able to, give something so weird and messed up like that. And I've seen a lot of people talking about how, these comedy YouTubers who've come over to make horror movies are really good at it because in both cases, you're subverting expectations. In both cases, in comedy, being unexpected works really well, but in horror, it's the same thing. Having a demonic being cook your dead cat and put it in your lunch. I mean, it's fucking hilarious, but it's genuinely really good. The duct tape scene is another one, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about, where it's just like really simple, but it's so good. It's so good. I love it. And the kill scene where Nikki comes up and kills Sarah, the way that she walks and just like it's fucking awesome. It's so good. It's nothing high stakes compared to the movies we're used to, and that it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. It's really good. So one thing I will say is that it wasn't very scary, at least to me, and that's a hot take. I've seen a lot of people calling it the scariest movie of all time, and so I'm prepared to admit maybe I'm the weirdo here. Maybe I'm just a psychopath who does not understand what things are meant to be scary. One time when I was like 11 years old, I had one lucid dream in my entire life, and when I realized I was lucid dreaming, I decided to jump scare myself because I thought it'd be funny. So maybe I'm not the best person to decide whether or not something is scary. I remember also playing Five Nights at Freddy's when I was 14, and Freddy comes over my face, jump scare. I was like, oh, hello, buddy. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, the precious guy. I don't scare very easily. I will say that the actor who played Nikki was incredible, and I heard they used a dancer to do the weird walking that she was doing when she steps into the back of the room in the middle of the night when she wakes up there. That was so good. The movements were very creepy, and Nikki's mannerisms were creepy, not scary, but they were creepy, and I really enjoyed that. That was the next thing I really wanted to talk about was the actors. Oh my god. The actor who plays Nikki especially did such a good job at playing this deranged, possessed character. So good. Such an incredible performance. I heard she's talking to Marvel, and she's maybe going to play some X-Men character from what I've heard. Is that true? Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of rumors on the internet these days. Could turn out to be complete crap. If she does end up on a Marvel project, I hope she does something good with it. That franchise is going down the shitter real fast. And I heard a lot of people saying, oh, like she didn't get much money off the movie, but it's like, well, she's also, went from 100,000 Instagram followers to like 3 million overnight. So I'm sure it's going to work out for her well in the end, and she absolutely deserves it. What an incredible performance. And with Bear, the actor who played him also did a pretty damn good job. This type of person, the very like autistic, introverted weirdo, has become pretty normal in society these days, especially since the pandemic. And I think Bear's actor, I don't know either of their names, by the way, you'll have to look that up. They totally deserve to be known by name. But the actor who played Bear, dude, he did a really good job at playing that awkward weirdo. And he did a very good job of portraying this really distinct type of evil that Bear portrays in the movie. And I say distinct evil, but it's not. The type of evil that Bear plays, I think, is much more common in real life than what Hollywood shows us. Hollywood, once again, trying to grab our attention, thinks that the only way that we can understand evil characters is if they're twiddling their mustache and announcing their evil plan to do 18 holocausts all at once this time. Like, no, not every evil person is Thanos or Hitler, and like sometimes these are good movies, don't get me wrong, but the average evil person is a lot more like Bear, where they're kind of just pussies who make bad decisions when the opportunity presents themselves. Real evil isn't doing a holocaust. Well, okay, that is real evil. Don't take me out of context here. That's bad too. But real evil is more like the creep at 7-Eleven who takes advantage of a girl when she's alone and unprotected, the same way that Bear does to Nikki in this movie. And I like that there was, he's obviously a piece of shit, but the way that they were more subtle with it, I found very compelling and interesting. Where there are parts of the movie where, when Nikki is, first coming on to Bear after he makes the wish for her to love him, it's like, I can see why he would do that. If I just broke in a magical little wishbone that is supposed to make my girlfriend love me, I'd probably think, oh, it's not the wishbone. Maybe she actually loves me. Especially someone as autistic and antisocial as Bear. So you can understand why he at first is kind of okay with it. But then he does go on to take advantage of her. And increasingly take advantage of her more and more and more over time, at the same time as it's slowly becoming more and more obvious that she's not acting right. And whether or not it's drugs or possession or anything, she's clearly not in a good state of mind, and as it becomes more obvious that she's unwell, Bear pursues taking advantage of her even more. I thought it was really well written. I thought it was really brilliant. I really loved seeing how those evil decisions are made by things that in themselves seem like a small slip into doing the wrong thing, but when you put all those cowardly decisions together, this is a fucking evil human being. I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was much more nuanced than anything we typically get out of, evil characters in movies. And to be clear, I've seen some online debate over this. He is a piece of shit, and he is obviously a piece of shit, and he shouldn't have done the things he did. But it was more subtle and more interesting. The last few things I want to talk about, man. YouTubers making movies, just generally. Backrooms was the other movie that I freaking loved this year. Also made by Kane Parsons. I can't remember. I can see his chubby little blonde face in my head, but I don't know the name of the actor who made Obsession. Bloody incredible. I'm so happy to see that Hollywood is finally giving people a chance, because the future of entertainment is made by me. It's made by me, people doing this, talking to a camera, saying things. It's not, these boardroom executives making all the shots. That's not the future of art. It never was art. It was always the weird, creative people finally getting a microphone and making something great with so much vision. And I really cannot wait to see what they do going forward. Because this movie has made $500 million on a budget of $1 million. It is outperforming Disney, Marvel, fucking Star Wars bullshit with a fraction of the budget. Because it's good. And I can't wait to see more stuff like this in the future. A couple other things I wanted to talk about. I love how there were few characters. There was only really the main plot was between Bear and Nikki. And there's only 2 real side characters, being Sarah and Ian. And they didn't feel the need to shoehorn in a bunch of other characters. Now, part of this is my TikTok freaking brain rot, where I don't want to remember the name of 18 characters in your interconnected universe. I don't care. Give me a grounded movie with 3 or 4 names to remember. I find that way more reasonable. That might be because they had a small budget, that they only had a few people, but I prefer that much more intimate storytelling too, right? It's like if you go to a party with 30 people, you're going to be like, yeah, it's like this is going to be a lot going on, but you're less likely to have an intimate connection with 1 or 2 people unless you step off to the side. And similar with movies, if you have a big loaded cast, unless you're, giving them movies beforehand to set them up or whatever, you're just not going to get to know them all that well. And so I really like it when a show will have, 1 or 2 characters, maybe a couple supporting characters for the entire movie. I think it's just, much more reasonable. Another thing I liked about both this movie and Backrooms is how it's up to interpretation. I was watching this, and I was questioning the whole time, like, did the wish even work? It was only, about halfway through the movie that I'm like, no, the wish definitely worked. It seemed like, for a while, like, does Sarah actually like him? Is she lying about her dad? She seems to be lying about her dad, but is that true? I don't know. It's hard to say. And I loved how, the movie posed some of these questions during the movie, closed some of those loops, answered some of those questions, but never fully answered all of them. Like, I'm still not sure entirely how it ended. Like, it looked like with the acting that Sarah, or Nikki, was no longer possessed at the end. It seemed like she was kind of back to normal now that Bear is dead. That kind of cancels the wish. But we didn't sit with the characters long enough to really know. I like not knowing. I like that you told your story, and what happened before and what happens after is kind of left up to the viewer to decide, or to speculate on or think about. I love that. You don't need to answer every nitty-gritty question in order to tell a good story. So that I really liked. Another theory I had while watching this was that Bear was just schizophrenic, and we saw the cat overdose on some of his pills early on, and I thought about this again towards the end when he overdoses on pills. I'm like, hold on, like, are those his schizophrenia medications? Like, did he just forget to take them? Did the cat consume them all, and then he's in such grief that he didn't have any more, right? And he didn't go and get new ones, and this whole thing is just a messed up interpretation of events happening in his mind. I don't know. Like, it could be. I think probably not, but I don't know. Like, I love that I love how, this told a very clear story while also leaving the world kind of vague. I liked it. For something like this, I think it worked really well. Going forward, man, I really think that movies like this need to be the bare minimum. As much as it is a great movie, and I think it should be appreciated, I think part of the reason that this movie is getting so much praise is largely because of the dog shit we've been fed for the last 5-10 fucking years of Marvel slop. If the world can go to a place where movies like Obsession, Backrooms, Project Hail Mary, I've heard The Odyssey's good apparently, I've heard mixed things, but if the world can go back to a time where the average movie is as good as this, if that can be what the next couple decades of media looks like, I am so excited. As a huge media nerd, this is a very exciting time.